Okay, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Cave Network podcast. Today I'm joined by an amazing panel for those of you who want to grow your sales teams. And if you want to make money, you absolutely want to grow and optimize the sales teams. I have got the most epic panel for you today. To my left, we have Brother Usman. He is the founder of Guided Growth. Allahumma barik. If you are a person who has a team of people that take sales calls online, this is the man. He worked for Richard Branson, which is the billionaire from the UK, Allahumma barik. He left him a couple of years ago, and since then has been helping hundreds of people scale their sales teams. Just to give you a couple of names, Imran Ghazi, you trained his team?
Yeah, we trained a sales manager. Yeah, we trained Imran Ghazi. We did William Brown. We did many people that people would know.
Cole Gordon?
Yeah.
They flew you out to America?
Yeah, so we actually supply them sales managers. We've worked with like so many large businesses most people wouldn't want to hear the big ones, but I can tell you the people that you don't hear as much about are the ones that need the most help. It's easy to say the big names, but just shining a light, like even Ayub, who we worked with a lot, Abu Lahia,
Us.
Imran the Cave. So like I want to shout out to all the local people as well. I think we're too easy to shout out all the big names, all these people that we're like everyone would know, but there's a lot of people making a lot of money who people just do not know about.
Yeah, barakallah fiqh, you're absolutely right. These guys don't know Abu Lahia very well.
Okay, nice.
Then across me, we have the AI extraordinaire, Big Tech,
Appreciate it.
Silicon Valley. How you doing, brother? MashaAllah.
Jet lag.
So this brother, his name is Jihad. He's a mujahid in AI. He used to consult for Y Combinator. You still do, right? You're still a Y Combinator consultant.
Yeah, we're an official vendor of Y Combinator, working with startups, even getting them in. But then after they raise, how do you continue scaling? So we're consulting with a bunch of them.
So Y Combinator is the most successful VC fund for technology startups.
Bar none. Reddit,
In the world.
OpenAI,
Uber?
Stripe.
Stripe is from
Uber.
there, right?
I mean, the list goes on and on.
You also consulted for Alphabet, which is Google's mother
Holding
holding
company.
company.
Yep.
And you worked for Amazon.
Yep.
And now, Allahumma barik, what he does is that he goes to service-based businesses that, generally speaking, are limited in growth due to the human dependency. Human beings are expensive, and human beings are inconsistent. They make mistakes. What he does is that he brings technology into your service-based, human-dependent businesses so that your service-based businesses can scale as if they were software. And he has done that for him. Allahumma barik. So today we're going to have a very interesting conversation. We're not just going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about sales and optimizing our sales processes with AI. Allahumma barik.
Ooh, a plot twist.
Oh, yeah.
Plot twist.
Little,
We're a
little,
plot twist.
little
Plot
spice, little masala. I like it.
But that's the big boy game, right? Like in the sense where most people are just thinking about, Zapier automations and making sure that my closers have the right zaps that are coming into their Slack and whatnot.
I mean, and the game is changing, right?
Yeah.
Like ultimately, it's getting more competitive. It's getting the markets are maturing. People know what to expect, and people. Brother Usman knows what's coming around the corner. More about it.
Oh, I forgot to mention, just so you know, I'm a recipient of both of these guys. So he has been training me as a sales manager in my team. They found me a closer, helped me build out all the systems, all the processes.
To meet him today.
You met him today, yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't know I was going to meet him today.
Okay, Allah barik. No, he's actually, James, good guy, man. He really found a good guy.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the recruitment arm of our business because we say we do sales consulting. Our recruitment arm is very good. To be able to find local talent in Dubai, what was your number one need? I want to find a Muslim closer who I can meet in person, and we find someone.
And the right attitude.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because there was two guys that made the final cut. One of them was actually more experienced on the cards.
Yeah.
But this one had a better attitude, and James recommended him. And I actually felt that it was the right choice. And since then, bro, he's been so dedicated. And of course, Jihad, mashallah, is building out the entire, fulfillment side of the cave. So
Operating system.
You just brought your C-suite into a meeting today.
Yeah, basically. Basically.
Bro, we're just gonna have a board conversation right
guys,
now.
man. He's my AI guy, man. My technology guy.
Yeah.
But no, alhamdulillah. So you guys you're in for something cool. So Usman, bro, let me start with you, man. When it comes to sales, like what are generally speaking the most annoying things that sales managers come across that limit them in their growth, that you feel like there's the biggest opportunity for AI to solve today?
Yeah, so just to clarify the term, if you're a business owner who's managing a sales team yourself, you are a sales manager.
Correct.
And if you have a team, if you're a CEO who has a sales manager, you also need this information as well. So it is relevant to everyone who has a 7-8 figure business. Within, like, you're still on a phone call, Zoom call, you need this information. And the biggest thing that they actually drop the ball on is data. Because enforcing people to use the CRM and tracking is done incorrectly. Like, before you're working with us, you had trackers. If someone said to you, do you have trackers? You'd say yes. But can I make good decisions from those trackers? I don't
Absolutely
know.
not.
And to be able to incentivize, so I'll use that word properly, incentivize people to use those trackers is how you get the data correct. Because you can only make decisions if the data is correct. So what we tell people is, we want you to tell all of your salespeople that you pay commission off your trackers. So they have to get the trackers in order. And then we also cross-reference that with what's in the CRM. And then we force the sales team with incentive to make sure the trackers and the CRM are matching. Because we'll say every Friday when we validate the commissions, if the trackers and the CRM doesn't match, we don't know what to pay you. So we will have to delay your money. Not because we want to, just because your information is correct. And just by positioning it in that way, it will reframe the sales team to always have their data done correctly. And now you're building your sales team, and now you've got a closer. Now, how we enforce that with your team is going to be how we can actually make good decisions.
This is a very important point because, so obviously you have an entire team that works with you, right? That we benefit off. So one of your guys, Dodge.
Yeah.
So I actually had a great experience with him. So
Thank you.
we were, he would ask me certain questions and I would give him an assumption and he would say, well, what does the data say? And then I would give him like a rough number and he would press me on it and be like, well, it's never really a 2080. Like, that just sounds too clean that you're saying it's 2080. And then that really got me in the habit of, you know what, let me get the numbers to the point. And it's interesting because prior to working with you guys, I honestly was thinking I need to optimize show rate. I need to optimize this. I need to optimize that. When we looked at the numbers, we're like, you know what? The lowest hanging fruit is just ad spend. And I was scared to increase ad spend because I was like, wait, I can't increase ad spend. My show rate is bad. But it was the only thing that made sense to improve was the ad spend. And you will never know until you can see the numbers in front of you.
You've touched on the exact point me and Jihad spoke earlier on. People actually think we do sales team. That was actually our positioning initially. What we actually do is we build revenue infrastructure. So we've actually done, I would actually say my job as a CEO needs to be better. I need to do a better job of positioning what we do because we actually build revenue infrastructure because we're not just saying, do your sales rep. How much of your conversation with us is about your marketing?
We do discuss marketing, yeah.
And because it's so linked to sales, so the entire acquisition of sales and marketing working together, same with Jihad, when he's working with us, it was like, what's going on with your ads? We need to look at your ads. And people think sales team, the reason why most people struggle is they only look at the sales. You have to look at sales and marketing together. And it's revenue infrastructure that we build. And when we build it properly, you can make those decisions that now you just know, I just need to spend more. And that's because you have your offer is great. I will say to you, look, people who are interested in joining a network, we just come actually from the mastermind. So this mastermind that you have, it gathers people from different walks of life who are all very, very wealthy, who all make a lot of money in so many different industries. I was speaking to one brother today, and he owns real estate. You know, he had a white beard. What's his name? He had a big white beard.
Khalid. French guy?
No, he wasn't French. He had he was
Usman.
Yeah,
sorry, Umar.
Umar. So he has all these real estate companies. He does buy-to-lets. And like, okay, I need that. I need to have like, can you help me find a new property? Because I'm looking at renting something out. I'm buying something, renting. He's giving me great advice. So the benefit from like the cave on meeting all these different people, that's why I feel really passionate about helping your sales team because when you run ads and you can see the return on your spend, it's crazy. All you actually need to do is just spend more money. And this community, like the reason why we're helping you is because obviously initially you said, hey, can you help me? Can I pay you for consulting? But what's actually happened is when we've spoken internally about your business, it's like, let's grow that network. That's a great network to grow because that community, when it grows, imagine this Dubai has like 50, 100 people in the room. It will be a killer network that can help each other.
I appreciate it, bro. And I really feel like you guys do care, man. Honestly, it's
I think I
get messages from him.
Go, you could say.
Yeah, he gets messages from him and he's like, bro, I actually care. and I'm not going to stop until this grows. And it's just unsolicited. He's just reaching out.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. How many times I chased him up? How many times have I messaged you and not got a reply, but I still chase?
No, I appreciate it. And I'm very embarrassed to see.
No, don't be embarrassed, man. Look, we all get busy.
Just to give guys context, last month was hectic. We were just doing a lot of cleanup internally. But now we're back on the sales calls and ready to grind.
Have you paid for other programs before?
I have, yeah.
They don't chase you. Our rule
100%,
is
100%.
we chase people.
Yeah.
So it's Jihad.
No, it's and like I was a direct recipient, like as like a recipient of it, and now being consulted and working with Usman at Guided Growth, and it is absolutely a feeling of like you get the feeling of like not okay, you'll be successful. Like you can be successful if you just use this stuff. It's like you will be successful. Yeah. You have to be successful. Like you cannot walk away from this unsuccessfully, right? So it's just like that level of attention and detail is absolutely apparent. Obviously, a reflection of leadership.
Hello, hey, guys. Let me tell you about AI. Now, I'm not a technical guy at all, but guess what? I'm making money through AI with Allah's permission. So if I can do it, then you can too, because I'm the kind of guy that's like, hey, why is the computer off? And it's because it's not plugged in. But with that said, by Allah's permission, they're making money through AI. Now, I used to hear people always say AI helps you save money. AI helps you, save time, make more money. But I didn't know how, because just like you, most likely, my relationship with ChatGPT was a Google search engine type of relationship. That was the extent to which it would go. Until I met a brother called Jihad. Jihad Iqbal, he is the founder of Liberate Labs. He is a consultant for Y Combinator startups. He has consulted for Google and worked for Amazon. And now he helps service-based business owners become AI savvy. In simple terms, he will bring AI systems into your business that are custom, specific to you, and he will help you save money and make more money. He's doing it for us, and he's doing it for others inside of our network of high net worth entrepreneurs and investors. And like I said, he's doing it for 50 clients currently. So if you want to know about how you can bring AI into your business, start saving money and making money and overcoming those inconsistent human dependencies that are so annoying, then book a link below with our brother, because this is the top 1% of the online AI space. He's in the top 1% of the AI space, probably top 0.01% of the Muslim AI space. Back your brothers, link below, let's go.
What book are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading 3 books. I'll tell you one of them. Spin Selling.
One line from this book, if you were to give it to someone who would give it to it straight away.
Most people who do sales, they ask a lot of problem questions. They think, hey, just by identifying the pain, I'm going to make money. But actually, the things that close the biggest deals are agitating the pain by asking implications of those problems. So when you can implicate the problem and quantify it, that's most likely to close the deal. And I know people do that, but they ask like 1 or 2, really should ask like 10 to 12. The more implication questions you ask when you agitate the pain from 12 different angles, he starts crying, he wants to give you money. Plus, and I'm going to come to Jihad in a second, but bro, honestly, you've said a couple of things to me that have completely impacted us, like one-liners. So, for example, and I told you this yesterday. We were talking, and I was telling him about how I've worked with these sales agencies before, and they just tanked my business. They literally brought us into the red. And you were like, why did you delegate your revenue, the most important part of your business, outside the company? And I was like, wow, how stupid was that? How stupid was that? Like, I literally delegated the bloodline of my business, the oxygen of my business, to someone else. And I said, no, I don't want to grow it. I don't want to learn the skill. So it was great, man. It was great. Many things like that you said, bro, that have been hugely consequential.
Thank you.
Barakallah feet, man. Jihad, bro, look, let's bring you in, man. So what are some of the ways to kind of make this easier from a artificial intelligence and automation perspective? Because look, we understand tracking is important, but there is friction.
Yep.
And sales guys just want to be on calls. They want to close, bro, one after the other. So how can we architect a workflow or a system that makes this easier? Like, I want to know your take on this.
I mean, this is, I think, directly to this concept of related to delegation, right? I mean, the fact of any of the work that we're doing, whether it's on the marketing or on the sales side, whatever, right? If you're hiring a team, right, there is risk with it in the form of like if you work out someone with outside your team because you're like, I don't have the capacity, I can't, I don't have the ability, I don't have this concept, I don't have this thing, right? And you send it outwards because of that. That is a major risk that I don't think anyone should do anymore. For the part that unless they first try to automate it first.
Yeah.
Have something of, even if whether it's copywriting, like LinkedIn posts, YouTube, creating ad creatives, whatever the case is, AI has made it so easy that delegation, or rather contracting it out, is not worth it anymore. You know, and so to that end, like even things about internally when it comes to tracking and otherwise, if I always put it into three parts: the people, the process, and the tools. All right. So the people aspect, we got to train them. We got to get them to have the right incentive system, be aware of like what is and what is not happening within the thing. You have to set up the process of like what they need to do. And then the AI comes in to basically enable all of that, right? The AI alone is not going to train your people. The AI alone is not going to fix your process. So you have to fix the people and the process first, and then give them the tools. So one thing that we do in our own company is we set up a AI brain, an AI operating system. And in this operating system, it has access to all the tools in our company. It's our project management, it's our CRM, it's our sheets that we're tracking of, like any metrics they need to report on. And all that reporting, because we do a lot of like billable hours, we do a lot of consulting, right? So it's a pain to get engineers to log their time. That's just one process, right? How do I incentivize that? Well, the moment they do their time tracking, each hour gets pushed to ClickUp, and from ClickUp, it gets pushed to our reporting automatically to our clients.
So the time tracking is automatic?
Yeah, it's completely automatic.
How so?
So when they turn on their time tracking, right? So it's like a screen kind of tracking tool. Yeah, screen tracker, right?
Yep.
So the thing is, it doesn't just stay there. It gets pushed into the task tracking, and from the task tracking, it gets pushed to reporting. So clients always know where did each of my hours go towards, like, whatever building we're creating. So it's just to note that like we made it really easy. Really, like, yeah, we set up the incentive systems. If they don't hit their hours, there's a disincentive. If they hit more of their hours, they get overtime. So there's an incentive system there. But on top of that, I made it so easy. Like, they don't have to think about it. That with that carrot and the stick, as well as making it frictionless, it's easy to get some process followed.
This is a very honest thing that you're saying, and I want to commend you for that. You're not saying, hey, listen, just hey, book a call with me and let me build out your AI systems. You're saying first you need to have the people and the processes set up.
Yep.
My job now is to pour gasoline over the fire with artificial intelligence. So I guess if someone's struggling with a sales team, first they've got to come to guided growth and,
Well, it depends what they need to automate.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times when I hire a salesperson and they'll think, why is the salesperson not performed? It was the salesperson's fault. And then we'll say, what do you have in place for the salesperson to learn, to be able to have their scripts for their training? And they don't have anything. Or they feel like what they have is enough. The rule that I have is, if you've never made a salesperson successful, not you counting this, if you've not made a salesperson successful, you don't have the right system built. Because if you did have the right system, people would be successful.
Yeah.
And then once you do have the right system, process, which is the recipe, do you have the recipe there? And then you can add a bunch of AI and automations to cook that recipe for you. But you need the recipe cooked first. You need the recipe written down first.
Yeah, the AI is not going to just imagine up a recipe on its own. Yep.
So for the guys that have their ducks in a row, for lack of a better term, right? What are the implications? What are the opportunities here, AI wise? What are the opportunities?
Well, I would even push back and say you don't need all your ducks in a row. I mean, this is why you work with Usman and myself, right? I mean, you handle the coaching and the recruiting and then like the actual training and even eventually maybe more aspects of the whole revenue pipeline. But even at Liberate, right? we're not just doing the technical implementation. And this is where I think most dev shops and most implementation people fail, is because even as we did our work, a large part of it was like coaching, right? Like, how can you think about the systems? How can you think about what is required here? What is enabled? And one of the big things I told you from the beginning is like, hey, I can build a tool, right? But the people need to know how to use the tool. And so I'm spending time with Guided Grade's operations head to coach her, not on just like, hey, we build the right thing, but how do you now use it? How can you make this active in your organization? And so that's where not just the implementation, but the training is also something we do, because we realize that one without the other does not work, right? Now, if you do have your ducks in a row and you have SOPs and you have documentation, you have a process, now it's like time to go, because there's still an element of change management that we still need to deploy, right? Because you're moving people from one way of doing things to another way of doing things. That takes like training, that takes a rethinking of the process, and it takes the technical element to be deployed.
So go on, give us some juice, man. I want people's jaws to drop. So what are some things that we can do in our sales processes, in our sales teams, that are like, wow?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about a few things at the gate.
About the 3 dashboards. I think we can go over the sales call review, the sales manager tracking, and the overall data tracking. So the 3 things, I think those have been killer that we're building.
Yep. I'll start with the call reviews, because that is one of the things. Okay, I mean, look.
So before you do that,
go ahead.
Just explain to us why this is important. Why does the sales manager need to be great at reviewing calls? Give us the macro here.
So a sales manager needs to review game tape, so just like a football coach, where they look back at the last week's football game and think, this is where the pass could have been better, this is where the shot could have been better. They review the sales call, and they look at the sales call and think, they dropped the ball on the pitch. They could have pitched it in a certain way, or they dropped the ball on this area. Previously, a sales manager would have to sit on 2x speed and listen to that call. And a sales manager would be capped at normally 8 reps that he can manage, because to manage 8 reps, you got to do one-to-ones with these guys every week, which is 4 hours of work. But then to review at least 2 calls a week from each of these reps and recruit new reps, your week's gone.
That's it.
So the overall capacity of a sales manager or a CEO who's doing it is now limited based upon the work he can review, because the sales manager needs to drive his performance, manage the team, hire the team, train the team, but also quality control, which makes up his training.
And even thinking about the time lag of getting that feedback back, how much time can pass. I can imagine a huge opportunity cost.
And then now, that's what you previously had to do. And now that's transformed to what you can go over and that we've built.
So I'll just describe it. Literally every single sales call is now being routed through Guided Grade's custom coaching rubric to review it immediately as the call ends, right? Instantaneously. Every call gets reviewed immediately, right? And this is not
every single call.
Sorry?
Every single call.
Every single call.
It's not 2 per rep now. It's like...
It's literally like... And I'm talking about maybe taking a day, 2 days, couple days, right? To get the call reviewed, first of all. Then, getting it shared and all of that, right? And the time that's taken there. We're talking about a call finishing, being reviewed, and the feedback being ready within like 5 minutes.
The feedback for the rep.
Feedback for the rep.
Well, just to add a bit of spice on this is, in the Slack channel, we would want to post that call review in the Slack channel so that sales rep knows however he performs, it's going to be posted in front of the whole team.
Okay.
So if he's performing badly, he knows that will be shown to everyone.
Okay,
right.
So I guess like there's a ranking or a grading.
There's like a public kind of learning, you could say.
Yeah, there's
is
a
a nice way to put it.
Well, the pressure of sales is the best salespeople want everyone to know that they're the best. The best salespeople have a character trait. This is after working with thousands of salespeople. They want everyone to know they're the best. So we create an environment where only the best can survive, because the data will be shown publicly.
So, question: if the AI is now doing this, what's the sales manager doing?
It's a great question.
The sales manager is now training those reps, because let's say in a football match, I'll use football because it's a universal example for everyone, not sales might not always be. If I've just learnt my football player could pass better, he should pass it with a different technique, lean his body in a different way. I now need to spend the time with that football player to say, hey man, when you're kicking the ball, lean like this. And then we're going to drill it, not once, but for weeks to make sure you get it right. Equivalently, on the sales call, once I have the data to know what you're doing wrong, now I need to coach you for weeks until you've done it right, and then review it again to say, well done.
Okay, so you can spend more time in actually training the reps.
Yeah, that's it.
Interesting. And I guess that's a high leverage task, right? Because fundamentally, what makes training so effective is the consistency and frequency of feedback loops. And shortening the time between each feedback loop.
Yeah.
So I guess this just allows
immediate feedback, like continuously, right? And training on top of it.
Yeah, it's a bit like if I said to you every time I say the number 5, you need to duck because I might slap you. And then I say 5 and you don't duck. That means you're not actually listening. You're not learning.
You get slapped.
Because that's how I was taught, through slaps.
And
it really worked for me. Eventually.
I won't say 5 in front of you. Get traumatized.
Eventually it works. But then now you learn as when you're coaching your team, if they're making the same error and you keep telling them, hey, you're making an error, eventually it'll sink through.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised a sales manager needs to repeat themselves an average of 7 times for a rep to listen. So people think, I have told my team to do one thing this one time, then they must know now. But it's actually, studies show 7 times of...
So interesting. So now you optimize for the 7th time.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
So interesting because I noticed this as well, like with my setters, I'm now managing a closer, so I've been managing my setters prior. And there's things I've told them, I'm like, wait, I told you 2-3 times. But then I started to realize, okay, it's just frequency. But now I'm going to optimize for the 7th.
Yeah.
7 is actually the key number. The 7th time you tell someone is when they finally register it. Because obviously, if you think about the averages, look, if I worked with thousands of sales reps, some people, this is to be said in a nice way, have learning difficulties. And some people on the other end of the spectrum are incredibly sharp and fast to execute, which means everyone can learn. Just some people need to be told 20 times and some people need to be told 1. But you're going to cater for the 20 because that's how you guarantee success.
Yeah, you're going to assume. Okay.
One interesting thing, like working with one of the consultants, amazing guy, Dodge, who's one of the sales coaches, sales manager support that's being provided. When we were building out the dashboard together, he was like, one thing I really want to see is trends over calls. Not just one call. I want to see over 5, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. I want to see over time, what are the repeated mistakes that a team is making, an individual is making, right? Because this is also like the thinking, like one data point you could train around, but that's not a great data set to work off of, right? And now you're just following up on things that might be situational. There's a lot of variables that could be introduced in a call, but over a trend, a week, a month, right? You get to really know what makes this guy tick, right? Like what is this kind of like tick that he has that need to be addressed? And I would argue that's probably the highest leverage thing to train on, right?
So explain that to me. You're talking about trends in sales calls.
Yeah, trends. So it could be good things, it could be bad things, right?
Okay.
There's both things that are being evaluated in the rubric.
Objections.
Yeah, so if we know over a month of data that this team or even just this one individual, right, does not qualify enough on, if this guy has budget, right? If you try to train someone on just a local, like just one call, that may not be a high leverage training session because it could be for a variety of reasons. But if you know over a series of like 30 days, this guy's still making this budget mistake, right? Then you could say that if I spend an hour, 2 hours, several hours with him, this is the highest level of training I can do. For not just the individual, you can also view it across the entire account, which gets into like the other kind of dashboard.
So you mentioned that this training is done against the guided growth rubric, right? So how important is the rubric?
It's everything, man. Yeah.
So that's our IP on all of the experience that we've had through manually doing the work to work out what is good. So, for example, a rubric would mean before I pitch, I slow down my tone.
So rubric like framework.
Yeah, framework. Before I pitch, I ask you, is there anything else that we've not covered today? And a basic example, how do you feel about everything we've spoke so far? That question is a part of our rubric to make sure, did you sense check the customer before pitching them? So all of these hundreds of questions and different formula of how we run our call for B2B and B2C go into our rubric. And that's how we can work out what call is good and what call is bad.
The most important department inside of your company is sales. And if you're anything like most entrepreneurs that are doing 100K a month, you've probably delegated away growing the sales department to some half-baked sales manager or a sales agency. That's exactly what I did until I met Brother Usman Kayani, who is a senior sales consultant that built Richard Branson's sales team at Virgin Gyms. He trains the sales teams of Imam Ghazi and provides sales reps for people like Cole Gordon, and he has a personal relationship with the likes of Alex Hormozi. This brother, he'd said to me, Imran, you have literally delegated away the most important part of your business to an agency that's not going to have the same skin in the game as you, which is why my company went into the red in Q4 last year. After working with him, I'm making more money now than I ever have before in my entire life. You see, if you get a sales consultant who's got the experience, then guess what, guys? This literally is the most ROI intensive investment you can make inside of your business. In fact, he even works with some of the biggest names in the Muslim space, such as Abu Lahya, right? In fact, Abu Lahya is the one who made the recommendation to me. So, guys, if you're making 100K plus every month and you sell high ticket online, we're talking through Zoom, through Google Meets and the likes, and you want to grow your sales process through to the roof, then I would advise you booking a call with Usman Kayani and his team at the link below. They won't just help you with sales, they'll even help you with marketing as well. But marketing in the context of what? The most important function of your business? Cash money, brother. Anyways, look at the link below, book your call, and hopefully you dominate, inshallah, in terms of sales, the same way I and many other of our brother Usman's clients have dominated and benefited.
Tell us a secret exclusively for the guys that watch the ad until the end. If they skip the ad, they missed out on this one.
With regards to sales thing or what?
Anything. A benefit, a secret, exclusive, something scandalous. So a man will never skip another ad again on one of our videos because he knows every single ad got some juice, got some sauce. These aren't ads anymore. This is sauce.
The only thing that's on my mind is
That's getting beeped.
oh my gosh.
All right, on the next one.
On the next one.
And if I could expand how important that is, right? I mean, it's the difference between AI slop versus something that actually creates leverage. Like we call it a taste in our terminology, but what really taste is opinions over probably at this point tens of thousands of sales calls, experience, and there was a lot of things that Usi will say his organization embody, right? That could be a contrarian take. That meaning like the rest of the market has a different opinion around it, but him and his experience can give this opinion that gives the edge to make sure that the sales team, when we prompt them, when we give them their rubric, it's going to give them an edge that no other sales coach can give.
So,
or even a generic.
Am I right in
LLM.
understanding then, when it comes to AI optimization and AI and automations and all of these things, the efficiency and effectiveness of your AI will fall to the quality of your frameworks. Is that correct?
That's a good basis for it, right? Like you could think about the floor is defined by your AI and your tech, right? But the ceiling is defined by the frameworks and the prompts. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, the floor is I got you. So then you fall to your frameworks, but you rise to the AI.
Exactly.
The opposite. Okay.
Or rather, you'll fall to the AI, you'll rise to the frameworks,
Okay,
right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So no doubt you have to have your own frameworks. But one thing I noticed is that, so I took you engineers for granted my whole life, right? I'll be honest. I thought you guys...
Dang, it's tough being an engineer, man.
You blew up with it now.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I thought
Yeah.
an engineer was just a nerd who is just typing zeros and ones.
Yeah.
Lives in his mom's basement. But I'm
You still do that.
You still do that, huh? But I just thought it
They're
was...
saving on money, bro.
Yeah. Like, in my mind, I was like, who would learn a language you can only talk to computers with. I used to find that so sad. But you know what I realized? I realized you guys are problem solvers. So I used to hear this systems architect. Like I meet a guy, he's like, oh, I'm a systems architect. What the hell is that? Coder. You know? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But no, you guys create workflows. Yeah. Like taking the mind of an engineer and bringing it into a business. As if the engineer, like yourself, who understands the different departments of business, the different jobs that are to be done, the outcomes that are to be required, that need to be completed and seen, you can actually use your engineer brain to create the most epic systems, the most epic managerial workflows, or workflows that your team will kind of follow, the SOPs that they will follow, and then the manager will just kind of oversee. And then you bring AI into that. So surely, let's just say I've got a framework. I don't think my framework is ever going to be as good as what you can help me optimize, because the way you guys think is just different. Like even the conversation we were having where we were talking about our onboarding process, and you were like, hey, look, your time to value for your members needs to be in the first 10 minutes. I couldn't even conceive that. Right? I couldn't even conceive it. It's because you know what's possible with AI, right? Yeah. So talk to me about how that works. Like, is that something that we can do ourselves, or do we actually need engineers like you? Or you're not an engineer, you're a CTO, you know? But yeah, break that down.
I think systems thinking is going to be one of the most important skills of any builder, any founder, any leader, and then in the years to come, right?
But I won't say that again, because this is something, again, I've just been trying to avoid and delegate and not really get into. Recently, it blew my mind, man, like how important this is. Yep. If you sit down and you just try to think, wait, what's the system?
Yep.
What's the process?
What's a workflow?
Can I simplify a bit more?
Yeah, please do.
Because I want the viewers who are listening to this to understand the simplicity of it. Everything is down to maths and physics. Everything. Yeah. So when you think about, okay, can the cave onboard 10,000 people next month? You will say something like, oh, bro, we can onboard a lot of people, but I don't know how like I would onboard, because I need to do a personal onboarding call with everyone, introduce them, and I don't know how it would happen. Yeah. The first thing we were like, Jihad would think, or a systems-based thinker would think, well, does your business allow it to happen? What is the limitation?
Yep.
Is it your emotion that's saying, bro, that's a lot of people, I don't know how?
I'm sure at the time it is. It's just an emotional thing.
Yeah, it is an emotional thing. But if the system allows you to have 10,000 people, then why can't you do it? So you can do it. Or you have to work out a system on how you can do it. So just separating emotion from just physics and maths. This is why people who have done physics, maths, all the biggest companies, CEOs right now are just like engineers. And the great thing about system-based thinkers is they don't think in emotion, they think in facts. Is this real? This table, what is this table? It's a material. Right. Therefore, what can I do with this table?
What's the relationships? What's the outputs, inputs and outputs, right?
Yeah, nothing to do with how do I feel about this situation. And feelings is what clouds all of us. And this is why a lot of stupid people make great business owners, because they don't think about emotion. They just do it. I know a lot of stupid people in business. They just move forward without thinking about it. Have you ever met someone and thought, this brother's worth 10 million and he hasn't got a brain at all? And because he doesn't have the emotional intelligence to even think about it, he just moves forward. So,
just again, why engineers are so good. the lack of EQ from being in our parents' basements all day, you know.
You can't talk to them.
I want to remember. I'm just joking. So you know, the systems thinking, I think about it as like Lego blocks. You know, you have one block here, you have one block here, boom, and then you need another block to attach it. And then you want to build another block here. And so ultimately it's these blocks that you want to like put in together to achieve like a goal and an outcome, right? And so the reason of even in today's workshop that we did, I started off with talking about, just think about not a person, not even a human being, but go one step deeper. What does a human being do? What's step one? what's step 2, what's step 3. And when you break down any role from a CEO to an intern, they're just executing a set of instructions. And that's literally the definition of a program. A program is just something that does it in a set of instructions. And so as a job in any role, in any workflow, in any department, we're just following a set of instructions. And now with AI, we can just do more sets of instructions than we were ever able to do. Because before we had to define it very, very strictly by code, but now we can just tell the AI, hey, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and I want you to do this. And then you have to fine tune it, train it like any human being, but it's always a set of instructions.
You know, this point you mentioned about it's a lot of instructions.
Yep.
Like AI it's just doing a lot, right? So fundamentally, what limits us physically, I guess, we cannot overcome it due to just having these AI agents and the fact that AI can move at such a pace. Honestly, I was thinking to myself the other day, I was just thinking about how much of a blessing this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He allowed us to live in a time where AI exists. Like honestly, like I've never gone to a lawyer my whole life, right? I actually studied law at university.
You did?
Yeah, I did until
LPC.
LLB.
Okay.
So the LPC
very nice.
just was I was supposed to do the BVC.
Yeah.
But I sat with a brother and he was like, oh, what are you studying to be? A lawyer. He's like, oh, a liar? Yeah, I was like, yeah, you know what? I always felt they were signing up with this. Anyway, I hated it. And I just became allergic to lawyers after that. So when it comes to contracts, I was kind of like, I hate drafting contracts. The other day, subhanAllah, I was just sitting there on Claude and I saved myself $20,000, man. And I produced like 4 or 5 pretty, sophisticated contracts for some pretty sophisticated deals in 2.5 hours, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And I actually just sat there. I honestly just felt compelled to just sit there and just show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for being alive at a time.
It is
when He's blessed us.
literally the best time. I know you will relate to this, to be a builder right now. To be a founder right now, like, look, I have 40 plus engineers and staff in my team right now, alhamdulillah. But for me to do that alone right now, marketing, managing a marketing team, a finance, engineering, project management, one person to do that would have been impossible, even like 5 years ago, right? So the fact that I am able to be here and working on these things is just the potential we have. And I think what we're going to see is better and like more efficient, leaner teams just doing way more stuff, right?
It's hilarious because I was talking to Abu Bakr about this. And he was like, Brother Jihad, like, are you sure he's the real deal? He's like, he's got 50 clients and he's here. And he's with us all day. Like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, that's literally the proof in the pudding. Like, the guy has got a business where he's got 50 clients, Allah Barik, underneath him. And by Allah's permission and His virtue, AI
is enabling all of it. I'm telling you, I'm not like, actually, I have maybe 4 meetings a week, okay? And those are optional meetings. And the only reason is because everything from my leaders to the reporting to the follow-ups to the accountability, my one-on-ones, my annual reviews, like my performance reviews, I do quarterly with my entire company every quarter. But all this is produced by data and automations, right? I have an AI brain where it's giving me a company pulse. And what it does is it summarizes my Slack channels, all my client channels, the ClickUp tasks. So a lot of comments are happening, tasks are being completed, and all the meeting notes with those clients. All 3 of those get summarized from me on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis.
And you do this for other people?
And we do this for other people. Because, I mean, we do it for ourselves.
You've been doing it for guided growth?
We're working on it,
Okay. All right. So, look, we talked about sales training. What was the second thing? We're talking about sales, right? So, AI and sales. So, what's the...
The other thing is like just... everyone wants a pretty dashboard. You know, everyone talks about, I want a dashboard so I can see all the data.
Yeah.
Because CEOs have this addiction to seeing the data.
Yeah.
But let's say you had this dashboard and it had 3 areas: sales, marketing, and delivery. That's what it has on this dashboard, the simple dashboard. You know, behind that dashboard sits so much information to be correct, layered correctly, built correctly, to be able to show you that on a dashboard.
100%.
So CEOs will say, I just want a dashboard. What we've been working on is sales and marketing dashboard for our CEOs to be able to show them that data. But to be able to give them that data, we need to be able to extract that data from them within days, not weeks. So this is the next thing that we've been working on, which is when we onboard a client, how fast can we show them what's broken? How fast can we show them this is where you're dropping the ball, which is our sales manager dashboard that we built.
And this is central because I've had this issue where I've got this CEO dashboard, but there's no point if the information is not inaccurate. If the information is inaccurate, right? And sometimes you have no idea how many layers of inaccuracy there is because all it takes is for one guy to have just, miss something.
We have a term for it. It's called like just source of truth, right? And truth is so hard to identify in a business because of so many variables, so many different tools, data living in silos, right? They're not being interrelated to each other. Like one of the things we were talking about and wanting to track is account health. Okay, well, what is account health, right? Are they paying on time? Are they happy in their sentiment? Are we getting their tasks done at a certain cadence? And then even to think like, are they getting results from the work that we're doing, right? All four of these are 4 different tools and data sets, payment tracking to project task tracking to customer success to calls coaching, right? Their scores, right? These are all different data sets. So the point being is that if you want to see your dashboard, you need to be able to, one, get all the data in a single source of truth and be able to verify that truth. And that's something that we've been working on, which is like the moment someone integrates their call recording software with guided growth system, we pull all their calls for sales calls and run an analysis, a clean analysis through all of it, while also ensuring that we do an audit to give them value from day one. And that is in the context of everything that's being delivered.
So I have a question for you, bro. Yeah? One of the things that you guys taught me was that the data should be manually implemented because then it gives you insights.
Yeah.
If you're manually implementing the data, then it's like you have a relationship with the number. You really understand the number.
Yeah.
If we now, and then that, of course, because the whole point of looking at data is that you're going to now act upon it, right? If it's just automated, are we going to lose that depth and insight?
Yeah, if something's automated, you don't tend to look at it. So let's say your Instagram analytics, there for let's say on an Instagram reel, how it's performed, it's automated data. Do you look at it?
No.
Do you look at every single reel? No, you don't. But if I said to you, every single week, can you report on the best reel that's performed last week and input it into this Excel sheet? Now you will look
100%.
because it has a manual action. So automated data doesn't get looked at. This is why with salespeople, we need them to know how fast and how good they're working. So we get them to manually input the data. We can automate a lot of salespeople's data, but if they don't look at it, they won't know where they're at.
I think it's an interesting thing going on with how we interface with things because I think we were having in a podcast a while back about how cognitive friction is good for the purposes of retention, the purposes of attachment, all these things, right? Just in general. So if automation is removing the friction there, right? What do we do, right? I would say we need to introduce friction in another way, right? So let's say on a sales manager, kind of even a CEO dashboard, all these numbers are popping up, right? We need to not just passively look at the numbers. We need to like engage it. You need to bring it up in leadership meetings every week. You need to talk about it. You need to like discuss it. Okay, it was a 5% drop. It can't just be, oh, there's a 5% drop. Cool. It has to be like a discussion with the owner of that KPI. What exactly attributed that 5%? Let's unbox it and let's dig deeper. Let's find an action item out of it, right? So yeah, I think that to answer the question as a follow-up is that like, yes, first of all, automation does reduce friction, maybe sometimes in good ways that can improve compliance and improve adherence to it. But two, we need to find more high leverage ways to engage it. Maybe that's in a public setting and in a discussion mode.
Okay, barakallah. So that's data. What else?
So you've got the call reviews, you've got data reporting, and then you got, which is like, how is the team being managed? So if it's a sales manager or a CEO managing the team, how are they actually running the meetings? How are they driving performance? So we look at, let's say there's a framework. Again, I'll talk about what is the recipe of a good sales meeting. Well, the first thing in a sales meeting is to ask everyone, so what wins have you had? The next thing is to say, so what deals have you got right now that you're trying to get over the line? What's your hot list that we would call it in sales? The next thing after that might be, after the hot list, it's what deals are going to get closed this week, when is it going to happen, and then going through some training. Let's say there's a framework to this meeting. Now we can run that rubrics through sales manager meetings that I've held for your business, let's say, for Monday to Friday. And then we look at how did the sales manager of the cave perform based upon the rep performance. So if the rep performance is here, how did the leader perform? And we can put both that information together and say, is that business going to predictably grow or not grow? And that's what we've been building. And that's why AI can now give you a perspective on your own work. How are you doing? Because it's hard to look at yourself in a third person perspective. When you can see your own mistakes in life, just in general, regardless of work, that's when you progress the most. Because you're viewing your own bad habits. You're viewing your own things that you're dropping the ball on. So this is where it really benefits.
So I managed to double my income, alhamdulillah, by Allah's permission. And it was one of the easiest things I did. Now, that might sound like a crazy claim. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't do it myself. How was it easy to double my income? Well, I just found leaks inside of my business that I was able to overcome. Literally money I was leaving on the table. And the reason I was able to do that so easily was because of my mentor. His name is Fawaz. Fawaz runs a program where he helps high-level CEOs and executives of Fortune 100 companies like Apple optimize themselves so they can make use of the money they're leaving on the table. He actually got me so sharp that I was, no exaggeration, doing 12 weeks worth of work in a day, right? His whole thing is about optimization and fixing leaks. Now, if you're a person who finds himself in a place where your business is cash strapped, it's not growing, it's plateaued, there's money you're leaving on the table. And sometimes you just need a mentor like Fawaz, who's done this for 800 plus CEOs, clients, and he does this for them week in, week out to help guide you through the process. It was the best thing that I did, not just for my business last year, but also my household, my family, my health, and my deen. I don't mean that as an exaggeration. It was honestly the best thing I've done for my deen in a very long time. And it just so happens that I happen to increase my income by 100%. So look, if you're interested in finding ways to find that money that you're leaving on the table and you want to achieve a 2 to 5x increase in revenue within 3 months, not through new money, but money that you're leaving on the table, I would sincerely advise you to book a call with Fawaz's team at the link below right now. I promise you, you will not regret it, inshallah. So I have a question, right? You obviously attended a lot of masterminds. I think you said you spent about £750,000
too much money
in
too
the
much
last
money.
year.
I've definitely spent more than $500,000 in I've just spent crazy amounts of money.
Just going to workshops and mentorships and masterminds and so on and so forth with like Alex Hormozy and Iman and whatnot, these guys. I know Hormozy's on a different level, but I'm curious to know, these other big players, without mentioning anyone in specific, do they have these kind of AI systems in place?
No, you know what, I'll tell you something. I've worked a lot with a lot of 8-9-figure companies, and you'd be surprised how many big companies are a shit show behind the scenes, but they just have a really good brand in front.
Really?
They have a very good brand, and the marketing allows them to be terrible at everything else.
Really?
Because they have so many leads, because their branding is so good, they are able to create mess everywhere else. You've probably seen it before. So businesses, a lot of the times, with great branding from the outside,
Victims of success.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would say, like, we've not blown up online. One of my biggest goals for this year is now branding. But I would say last year when I was thinking, why is my personal brand not growing as fast as I want it to? It was really because I wasn't putting the time in, but it was a blessing, because if I hadn't got all the leads last year, I would never been able to handle them all.
Really?
Now we're getting to the stage where we can actually handle the leads because of our system. So most people, I would say, need to work on the product for way longer in the system before they let people in. And because they see when the system breaks, and they see when people are asking for refunds and things aren't happening. So the quicker you can work on your product and your system, honestly, the more your business will grow.
So I'm curious to know, so then, like, obviously AI is the rage, right?
Yeah.
In 2026. It's been since 2023, but it's just getting even more and more intense. Is it that these guys don't have access to the right people? Is it that they don't know people like Jihad, for example. I'm just trying to work out, like, are you
No,
really a
everyone
golden
knows.
goose?
Everyone knows what to do, but not everyone will focus on it. Not everyone will think this is what I need to do.
Okay.
Some people just don't
And it
care.
relies on that bit of systems thinking, right? Like looking at your company as like, oh, okay, like I see where the bottleneck is. I see where things are failing in the process, and I see the constraints, and here's how we address it, right? That kind of thinking, right, is often lacking, right?
I
Like,
guess the issue is inertia, isn't it? Like inertia is the status quo.
that is
things
one
are going-
aspect of it. One aspect of it is I always look at 3 parts of awareness, insight, then action, right? And each of them depend on the previous, right? The first part is awareness. Like sometimes when things are breaking, there's not enough visibility to even know where in the process it's breaking, right? The insight out of that awareness is saying like, oh, okay, well, this is where I can have this is where it's blocking the biggest bottleneck in my business, and here's how I need to go address it, right? And that leads into the action of actually like implementing the solution that's gonna address that bottleneck, right? So in that sense, right, if we're talking about awareness, I don't think like at a certain size there's always awareness of what's going on. I don't think that sometimes people can always figure out what is how to go about addressing it in a meaningful way. Like you were mentioning before, you were thinking about so many parts of your marketing funnel, but really you just needed to think about ad spend, right? So I think these are the things that end up blocking.
But also, I think to what you just said, right? If their system is actually trash on the back end, bringing AI in is not gonna actually make things any better because you have to have your rubrics in place first.
If the founder doesn't know what they want to fix, if they don't know what's going to happen, like the AI is not going to solve it for them for sure.
And I guess what happens is, because I saw this quote, I can't remember, did you mention it to me or I saw it somewhere, something like, you spent 5-6 years building your systems, right? Your analog manual systems, and now you spent 5 minutes or an hour on this AI, workflow, and you're upset that it's not as good as your 5-6 year system. It's because you spent 5-6 years on that.
Yep.
Spend like 5-6 weeks on this, and then you'll see how it outmatches your manual analog system. But the thing is, that requires downtime. Like you were saying to Brother Ibrahim, right? Like if you have machines that are broken, if you want to fix them,
or even just maintenance, just upgrading,
you have to turn them off.
You have to turn them off.
But these guys, I guess because they're so cash flow heavy in terms of business, and there's inertia kicking in, and they feel like, look, our brand is powerful. They don't want to turn the machine off to be able to fix the workflows. But I think that's going to place them at such a disadvantage because someone like yourself is going to come in, and Allah, you already have an 8-figure business, Jazakallahu khairan, but I mean, like, bless it and continue to grow it, but it's going to allow you to just absolutely slaughter them. And the reason I'm saying this is because I had a conversation today with one of our members, Brother Mikael. He is the head of the relationships department in Apple over at Japan. And he's going to be delivering a workshop for us in about 2 weeks. And I remember he said something, he was like, Imran, if there's one thing I can communicate to the brothers inside the cave, is that your biggest advantage against these big companies is speed.
Yep.
These guys are so bureaucratic.
Yep.
There's so much red tape. When you want to change something, and it makes sense because if you want to now bring AI in from end to end, it's going to expose how many deficiencies that you have.
Yeah, this is such a good point because I was at Amazon, right? And it's one of the largest, like in terms of size of organizations in the world, like 5,000 plus engineers. It's massive. There's entire internal teams just dedicated to supporting other teams, so everyone's questioning, like, why are these companies so slow in like in innovation and otherwise? Well, you need approval for 15, 20 people above you, right? To do anything. To change a button, to change a color, it's going to take X amount of time, right? So this is where, like, as incumbents, yes, you have some benefit if you have already some traction, whatever, right? But if you allow yourself to become slow in decision making and slow to try out things and experiment, AI native people who start from the beginning thinking about their systems, their process, their automations, they're never gonna even think twice. They're just gonna be off to the races from the beginning.
I love that you said that because it's like building your house on sand, right? If you built your house on sand, now to rebuild it stronger, you've got to deconstruct the whole house,
rip out the
foundation, and build it again. Yep. But those startups and those businesses today that are AI native, they're just going to naturally thrive in that space because that's the only thing they ever knew.
Yep.
Whereas these guys are now having to reverse.
It's like trying to get a cruise ship to turn against a speedboat. A speedboat will just turn way quicker, and a cruise ship needs to sound an alarm, tell 5 people to put a flag down, and then start turning. It's a whole situation, and that's how these bigger companies work. Like in their benefit, they have like a lot of resource. So eventually, when they do pivot, they can do it in a very different way to how a small business does it. But like if your business wants to start using Claude tomorrow instead of ChatGPT, you would say, everyone, guys, we're going to use...
That's a Slack message.
Yeah. And in a big business...
I don't even message. I just sent, this is your password and you're using it.
And now think of this. If there's 5,000 employees in a business, all those 5,000 employees have data stored on their ChatGPT. So now there needs to be an email to say, hey guys, can you prepare all of your data to be exported? And now these 5,000 people need to have a meeting about it, need to talk about it. This one thing. Just a meeting, just the thing that's being exported.
It becomes a massive migration.
And then it's like, what's the next thing? Guys, can you make sure you're logged out before this date? Now there needs to be a meeting so everyone can be logged out.
And there will always be a bunch of people that don't do that.
And there's 5,000 people, some are on holidays, some are on here. So this is why it's like, that's one example of just making a change.
So I think this is where it's so exciting right now to be a builder, is because like, dude, these guys will not, I mean, we think they will not innovate in time. Like they can't. They're a huge cruise ship, right? It's just physically, the physics of it make it too difficult. So if you become an AI native person as early as possible, right? And start just going hard. Disrupting is not if, it's not will you, it's like you will. Just trust in the process and just execute as much as you can, right? But the thing is, like, everyone is slowly picking up on that, right? I mean, I wouldn't even say slowly. Everyone is picking up on that immediately.
Yeah, so this is really important. I think the next year and a half is the timeline. What do you think? By the way, I'm quoting you know the guy from the All-in-One podcast.
The All-in-One.
The Indian guy.
Jamaat,
yeah. Because the guy's an expert when it comes to this stuff. I mean, but yeah, he was like 500.
He's an interesting guy for sure.
He changed his mind on a lot of
I think his investor, but you know, like.
But I'll tell you where I'm getting it from. He said that these AI businesses are going to have a lot of pressure in the next 500 days to facilitate massive amounts of profit for those that use them. Because these tokens are not cheap, right? So then that indicates to me that the next year and a half,
right? It has to be about profitability, impact, results. Yeah.
Well, if they're facilitating profit, I mean, someone's gonna be making that profit. That better be us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now is the time to go.
Because people think about the AI market in only a SaaS context a lot, which is like, it's saturated. People are like, oh my God, like the SaaS model, how much more can it grow? But actually the true transformation, I think, is in the service industry. All the traditional service-based firms, right? Whether it's coaching, consulting, all these like service deliveries are really human dependent and bottlenecked because of the human capital involved. If you can have and charge the same cost as you would as a service-based, but in the back end, it's like automated 80%, that is insane level of growth that you can enable in your business, scaling and otherwise. So like, you know, this is an article that Sequoia put out, Y Combinator put out a request for startups, and some of the biggest requests right now is looking for AI native service firms.
This is why you're such hot demand at Alam Valley.
Inshallah, you know, that's the goal. That's what I want to enable in the service-based industry. That's what I see the potential in, and working with expert operators who know and have the taste to be able to power these AI machines are going to be, I think, winning the decade.
So, let me ask you a question, bro. How much do we have time?
I got 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so let me run something by you. There's a conversation I was having with him, and I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this would be good, bad? Because obviously you can never take the human element out of the AI in the sense where you've come up with the rubrics in the first place, right? So I want to make sure we don't end up spending time on something that could be diminishing returns or just, you know, unnecessary. So I was thinking to get some type of an AI to listen to the sales call live, transcribe it, and based on our frameworks, indicate to the rep, hey, this is a missed opportunity. This is a pain point. Press it.
Yeah.
Do you think something like that would be useful, or would it kind of like, you know, make the reps weak?
No, I wouldn't. So the information is good, but it's how you deliver the information. So you can have this information because you can gather it from the sales call and send it into Slack. But now, if it comes up all the time, is any automated messages that come up in your Slack that you just scroll through all the time? You just like ignore.
Correct, yeah.
So how can it not turn into that?
Value.
What can you put to your sales rep to say, every time you get this call, can you just put a quick sentence and say, let us know what your thoughts were on the call, what you did good, what you did bad, and just review your own call. Yeah, so if everyone reviews the material, then it's good. So you want to have information there that can be used. So it's a good idea, but it's just normally how you implement it. And most people are poor at implementation, good at ideas. Most people have great ideas, but can't carry it through. So, which is something that I've really improved on a lot, is when I've had an idea, to see that idea all the way through.
Barakallah fiqh. Guys, I think we're in very exciting times, man. And you know, one of the things that actually makes me so excited is that we have leaders like yourselves leading this space. Now, of course, I know you guys have clients from all walks of life. Our main audience is our brothers, right? Muslims. And for a very long time, we haven't really had Muslim representation at this level in our space. So I personally just want to thank you guys. I say I'm proud of you both. And honestly, I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited to see how everyone else is going to benefit from you guys, and how you guys are going to grow your own businesses, and just generally, just for the entire space, considering that there are these type of opportunities that exist now, man.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
I really want to say as well, like, winning is never fun alone. Winning is always done together. So even though we can make a lot of money, if we can influence many other people to make more money, everyone will end up in a better place.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is about how you view your money, how you understand it, what is the flow of money in your life, and how you can make more. Because everyone can make a lot more money than they're currently doing. And whatever that means, they don't need to buy someone's course, they don't need to buy something online, but most people can do more. And doing more doesn't mean working more hours. Doing more can be like learning something new to implement.
No, absolutely. And I would actually go and say, look, you need mentors, man. You can't do it on your own.
Absolutely.
You know, even the Prophet ﷺ, he wasn't given a book to read. The angel Jibreel would come and teach him. And the angel Jibreel would come and teach the Prophet ﷺ. Now, that's the Prophet of Allah. Now, what about us? You know, so I can pick up a book, and I read books. I've been reading a lot of books on sales, but just one call with someone that can just tell me, hey, look, you're doing this wrong. Or, yeah, you misunderstood this point. Or, wait, actually, the book's wrong. This is what you should do. You can't replace that. Having a mentor, having someone that can give you that guidance. So I really would encourage, man, people to check you both out. In fact, I would deeply implore you guys to go check it out. If you have a sales team that's not up to scratch, check out our brother Usman, man, at the link below, inshallah. And if you guys do have your systems in place and in check, sales or otherwise, our brother Jihad is here, you know.
And I'll work with you to figure it out too. If not all the houses is organized, we'll bring in the cleaners.
Allahumma barik, man. Then, guys, with that said, may Allah bless you both. And guys, check out our guys at the link below. I'll put the link to their social media so you can engage with their ecosystems. And we'll see you next time. And hopefully they'll be regular on this podcast, man.
Definitely will.
Barakallah feek, my bro.
Appreciate it. Awesome.
Barakallah feek. Take care. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.